So yes, figure out the hearts of man and figure out the nature of those who are around you and the nature of how they were brought up, the nature of how they carry themselves now and how they carried themselves in their past. I know they say not to judge people on their past, but their past really shows you how they are in the present and how they act in the present. That way you can determine their future. This all has to do with the hearts of man. This all has to do with searching the hearts of man and searching the content of character. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of people with jacked up ass characters out here when really they have these hidden agendas and motives, and they really move like wolves in sheep's clothing. So be very aware, because a snake only sheds its skin just to change for the moment. You see what I'm saying? A snake is going to always be a snake. A wolf is going to always be a wolf. A shark is going to always be a shark. So be
your oil, and the enemy wants your flesh. There are so many principalities in the earth that are targeting you, that when they cannot get to your oil, they will settle for trying to get to your flesh. There are people who you actually think were attracted to you. It is not your it is not your aura. It is your oil they want. And if they can't get your oil, they'll settle with getting your flesh. There are many people who are intimidated by your oil, and so they think that the only thing they can get access to is your flesh. Y'all still are not awake in here today. And the enemy needs to know today that he will not have access to either, because there is such a price that comes with the oil that is oozing out of my life, and you are on high alert all the time, and folk don't understand why you are resistant and gotta have walls up, because in church there are people that want your oil, and after the benediction there are people that want your flesh. So you got to fight off people in either direction, and you don't know who to trust. You don't know what they really after. You don't know what their game plan is, and folk think that you are stuck up and standoffish, but they don't know I got to read what you really after, because I'm sick of folk trying to either drain me or sleep with me. I'm sick of folk coming at me sideways trying to compromise the oil that is on my life. You ain't interested in my brain, just my body. You don't want to have a conversation, you just want an entanglement. God, cover my oil and fight for my flesh. Whales are almost extinct. Overboard. They get rid of Jonah. They leave Jonah to die. I need you to hear it. I cannot afford for you to miss this. None of the sailors who threw him overboard are anointed. None of those who throw him overboard have an assignment. And I'm trying to figure out how it is I carry the glory of God and I got hurt by somebody that carries nothing. I'm trying to figure out how it is that God would allow you to leave me for dead when I work for him. Y'all ain't saying nothing. There are those of you who have replayed scenarios in your head. How did you allow yourself to get wounded by somebody who don't even have your level of grace, don't have your level of oil, don't have your level of commitment? God said, I needed them to get rid of you so I could get you back to me. You gotta thank God for the folk that rejected you, the folk that shut the door, the folk that left you for dead. They were all a part of God's plan to get you back in position. They threw him overboard. Blacked out and drowned right in that water. But right where he was thrown into the ocean, the whale was right there to get him and to take him to his expected end. I think I lost some of you. There is an anointing on your life to rescue somebody. There is somebody that if they had not come into contact with you, they would have lost everything. But because of your wisdom, because of your counsel, because of your friendship, because of your prayer, they were able to come through it. I need you to look at your neighbor and tell him, I'm not a pastor, I'm not a bishop, but I am anointed to rescue somebody. And there is somebody whose life is going to be changed because I'm alive. Hallelujah. Be seated. I got to show you something. Be seated, please. Being in your own way. Can you imagine who you need to get rid of is the old you. It's your old way of thinking, your old way of processing. Wherever you are in this place, wherever you are in this room, if you know that you are the recipient and the beneficiary of God's mercy, and because of that, you know you got to get right with God. You got to get in the church. You know that I'm talking to you. You didn't know whether you were Jonah or you were the whale. All you knew is that you was lost and that you were not in the place where God needed you. If that's who you are, if that's where you are, I need you to know that our men were in here praying for you yesterday, believing that you were going to get saved, believing that you were going to join the church. Our men were calling unto God on your behalf before you ever got dressed this morning. Wherever you are in this place and you're saying, Pastor, you have no idea how you just cracked my code, how you just spoke to what it is that I needed addressed. If that's who you are, that's where you are, would you please press your way and please get to this altar? I want you to become a part of our family. I want you to become a part of this ministry. I'm telling you, I would hate for you to be out of order with God. Come on, I need you coming. I need you coming. My parents were here this week, and before they were dropped off to the airport, my mother said to me, Jamal, God has blessed you so much. Do whatever it takes to keep God happy. Oh God, I can't hear nobody in here. Do whatever it takes.
Never apologize for having standards. And the beauty of standards is standards will always expose those who come with an agenda. And your emotional intelligence and biblical standards will always frustrate those who can't run game on you. It will always frustrate manipulators. Then what you have to be careful of is manipulators will try to project on you. They'll start to say things like, you got trust issues. How about, this is not trust issues. This is, I've seen this pattern before, and I refuse to entertain the same pattern of being deceived because I compromised my standards. To have standards is to be aware of your value. To have standards is to be aware that God set your value to priceless. Now, the danger in allowing people to give you value or give you significance is you give them the power to set your price. So you could be more valuable than the whole department store, but you will settle with being on the clearance rack just so that you can get their approval. And it's not a standard if you are not willing to experience loss. If you aren't willing to lose something due to your standard, it's not a standard, it's just a suggestion. Sometimes we have mislabeled victories because if you lost them but found you really won. If the relationship failed, but now you have a prayer life, you really won. If you didn't get the position, but that wasn't what God had for you anyway, you really won. Never apologize for having standard.
The main one you should lean on first. And then as you begin to do that, then, you know, your spouse and what you've been asking him for, you know, wishing you had someone to lean because, you know, like the lyrics in the song stated, everybody's counting on you. You know, it's like, when are you going to be able to get a break? When are you going to be able to reach out and find that true somebody, you know, that's going to help you, you know, help you with the bills, help you with whatever it is that God has you doing at this time, you know, actually step in and not only accept you, but your children as well. God is going to bring in people that's going to be there for you, not just to suck up and steal. You know, my husband likes to call them imps. coming in and taking what they want, and then once they've used you up, they're gone. No, God is going to show you that he's going to be the first one you can lean on. And then after, you learn that and you begin to make that enough, that's when your spouse gonna come in. Because God's trying to get us to a point where we seek him, we worship him, off the top.
But he understands that life and death is in your tongue. So his entire strategy is to get you to curse you.
It's just a fair warning. When you become a confident person, you are going to get under the skin of a lot of insecure people. I'm telling you that right now, because an insecure person is a very unsure person. They are not convinced of who they are or what they bring to the table. So when they get in the presence of a person who is convinced of who they are and knows what they bring to the table, that shit frustrates them because they don't know how to tap into those same abilities. So they're going to make it seem as if you're just so full of yourself when in all reality, you are just sure of yourself. So don't let it faze you. Now, I love
bonding simplified. There's many different types of trauma bond. There's anxious avoidant, narcissist pleaser, so on and so forth, codependency. In simple terms, a trauma bond is where two people are reenacting their childhood trauma in their current relationship. They both came from abusive households where there was some kind of combination of feeling unsafe, feeling neglected, and feeling abandoned. And very often, each of them experienced one of their parents being emotionally explosive and unsafe. The other parent that they had was more withdrawn. And so they go out in life finding partners that match that dynamic that they experience. So for example, this person might find a partner that directly reminds them of their mother. And then this person will find a partner that directly reminds them of their father. This person might learn to cope by suppressing and repressing emotions, also becoming a pleaser, also known as the quiet child. This person learns to cope by projecting emotion to control, also known as the loud child. And so they get into what I call the infinite loop of doom, where this person does a certain type of behavior. Let's say, for example, it is not communicating well, not expressing emotions, maybe working too much, hiding in their work. And so that will trigger this person's abandonment wound, not feeling heard, not feeling seen, feeling alone. And so when they feel that way, it's going to kickstart their behaviors to cope with that. Those behaviors might come off as criticizing, complaining, projecting anger, getting emotional. And that will then touch this person's trigger, touching this person's trigger around feeling unworthy, not feeling good enough, feeling unsafe because of this person's emotional outburst. And so that will kickstart this person's behavior pattern to withdraw even more, to run and hide and work and video games, hanging out with other friends, running away or freezing up to try to protect themselves. And then that would just continue to, again, as we saw before, trigger their abandonment wound more. And so it becomes this vicious cycle, like an infinite, like literally like an infinite loop of doom. Until it gets too much, it blows over, and they give each other the silent treatment. They sweep it all under the rug and pretend that everything's okay until the next fight happens. And then the loop begins again and again and again. And if these people do not resolve their own personal trauma that's creating these looping trauma patterns in each other, they will then have children that learn to cope in the same way that they had to cope to survive, repeating the same trauma pattern as their parents. And they have more kids that will then find their trauma counterpart and then keep kicking the trauma down the family tree, like so. So we call generational trauma. And until someone gets to the awareness to want to work on all of this stuff, it will continue and continue and continue. But luckily, if you are one of the few out there that is watching this, is curious about this and wants to work on this stuff, you're one of the rare people that wants to end the cycle of trauma suffering. And that's a beautiful thing. And that's what we're all here for, is to end the generational trauma, to have more love and fulfillment in our lives, but also to pass that on to future generations and the people all around us. Anyway,
Yes. Particularly those of you who are trying to develop, and hear this if you don't hear anything else I say, those of you who are trying to develop long-term relationships with selfish, egotistical, narcissistic, no boundary respecting people. I hope you hear what I'm saying to you. I hope you hear what I'm saying to you. It is a miserable life and a miserable existence. Don't fall so in love with anyone that you will sacrifice your sanity to be with them. That you will sacrifice your peace to be with them. Don't plan weddings and marriages, and don't plan to further relationships with people who do not acknowledge nor respect your boundaries and don't care about your feelings. Let me tell you what it says. When you keep attracting people who don't respect boundaries, people who have no empathy for your feelings, people who are so ego-driven that all they can see is them, they can't see you, it says that there is something in you that needs to be repaired. If you keep attracting people with that mindset, with those mindsets, with that kind of spirit, with that kind of disposition, there is something in you that has to be repaired. And you need to ask the Lord, say, Lord, repair me so that I will attract differently. Repair me so that I will see differently relationships. I will see it from a different vantage point and a different perspective. Repair me so that the standard in my heart and the standard in my mind will be raised. Father, I thank you today.
Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Eli Talks TV, and I'm back with another video. Now, in this video, y'all, I'm going to be talking about birds of prey, predators versus prey. And a lot of people, right? I'm just going to get straight to this one. This is going to be a good one, by the way. But a lot of people are really like prey in your life. Well, not prey, but predator in your life. There's a lot of predators out here in this world right now. See what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that prey on those who have a good heart. Those who have a good heart and stand on something. Those who have a good heart and are led by God. Those who have a good heart and are led by strong will and emotions. There's a lot of people out there who prey on that. There's a lot of people who are like predators. You see what I'm saying? And they seek these people out. And this is going to be going into narcissism, and aka energy vampires, aka abusers. It can be verbal, it can be abusive, abusers, physical. These things can play a part in how a lot of people in America are treating themselves. You see what I'm saying? Are treating other people. This type of stuff starts from childhood. This type of stuff starts from when you are at a young age, you see what I'm saying? And somebody notices something different about you. Have you ever had certain circumstances in life where certain people would pick on you for no reason, would pick on you just for being different, would pick on you just for thinking differently, would pick on you without you even having to irritate these people at no point, you see what I'm saying? But yet these people mock you and shame you and look at you differently and try to attack you sometimes. Have you ever had those type of instances in your life? People who do these type of things, just like bullies, are just like predators, and they seek certain people out with these hidden motives and agendas, and they know that you are good at heart, and so they play a role. You see what I'm saying? And when these people play this role, they come off as very charming. And I talked about this in my other video, but they come off as very charming. They come off as very welcoming sometimes, and they come off as if they have your good intentions at heart, because they know they study you. You see what I'm saying? These type of people study you. Just like in the animal kingdom, when you have hyenas and you see what I'm saying, wolves that move in packs, and they sit there and they study their prey. They sit there and they study their actions, the way that they go about life, the way that they go about how they live their lives. See what I'm saying? They study you, And this goes back into animalistic type of characters. But these animalistic characters drive them into a negative type of force. You see, if people are weak enough to be internally simultaneously controlled by their emotions, they are weak enough to be controlled by another host. You see what I'm saying? This will also go into parasites. When it comes to insects, whenever you are dealt with a vessel that's weak enough to be used, these parasites come into these insects and they control their mind, they control their will, they control their thoughts, they control the way that this parasite controls that the way that this prey moves. You see what I'm saying? And it controls the way that they live their life. It controls the way that they eat, the way that they see the world and see other preys and see other predators. They control the way that they interact. You see what I'm saying? And their whole life changes into what this parasite wants their life to be. There was an instant, right? There was an instance on social media with this woman. I'm not gonna say her name, and I'm not gonna say the male's name, but this is a prime example of what I'm talking about. This woman, right? She has a certain outlook on social media that portrays her in a I'm just gonna be honest, in a thought-like way. You see what I'm saying? In a hoish-like way. And she portrays herself in this way, and it's like she's being more so controlled by this narrative that this narcissistic man wants her to be controlled by. There are a lot of people that want to paint a narrative on your life and make you live the way that they live, or the way that they see you, because it allows them to control you. You see what I'm saying? But we're gonna get to that later. In this relationship, right, on social media that she has with this man, she's grew up with him from at adolescence. She said like 12 years old or something like that. And what she would do is she would perform these actions. She would perform what this man would want for her. She said that she valued his opinion more than almost her own opinion, more than the people around her, their opinion. And what this man would do is he would isolate her from her family, isolate her from her friends, isolate her from even her own judgment. You see what I'm saying? And he would ease his way in and have certain areas and certain type of strings attached to her in her life. You see what I'm saying? And so she finally took to social media about the situation, and this man exposed her on live, and he was calling her outside of her name. He was beating her. He was putting his hands on her. He was throwing shit at her. You see what I'm saying? And he was painting this narrative as if he had the right to do it. What happens when we are dealt with people, right, who don't feel wrong for doing wrong things, who don't feel wrong for doing unapologetic things to other people? Those are what we call sociopaths. Those are what we call narcissistic. Those are what we call people who are without feeling or without empathy, who don't really care about your emotions, don't care about your feelings, don't care about their actions towards those feelings that are negative, and they would rather you be held down to this narrative, to their world of who they think you are instead of who you are to the people and to yourself, and have you held down to this narrative as if you are the villain. How many times have people painted, there's a lot of people that will play victim, play villain, or play hero in a villain type of story. You see what I'm saying? This man is playing hero as if he is justified for the actions that he is displaying on the internet towards this woman. You see what I'm saying? But he's calling her outside. We're going to get to that. He's calling her outside her name. He's demeaning her. He's destroying her self-esteem. He's destroying their relationship. He's destroying what they built. He's destroying everything that she is as a human being, the good character of her traits, the good contents of her heart. He's taking that for granted and taking that for advantage. And what he is doing is he is tearing her down from the inside out. You see what I'm saying? A lot of, just like the parasite, these people have to eat you up, your will, your mind, and emotions from the inside first. And then that will show in the outside. Her friends would say that, oh, you started to slowly look different over the years. You started to slowly act differently towards me. You started to slowly stop speaking to me because of this man, because of what this man was doing to you, because of what the narrative that this man wanted to paint on the internet. You see what I'm saying? And when you have these relationships that are just predicated on the internet from this perfect point, from this perfect vantage, from this perfect point of view, no relationship, no person is perfect on the internet. You see what I'm saying? That's a dangerous way of putting yourself in harm's way. Just because that person has status, just because they have money, just because they seem harmless on the outside, does not mean that they are harmless on the inside. These people, this man was beating this woman, was destroying her life on the inside of reality, on the inside of social media. Outside of social media, he was destroying her. So we're gonna get to that. So she is now at this low point in life to where she almost is close to being killed. She was almost close to being killed. This man had her at gunpoint. This man had her at gunpoint, calling her outside her name. What I want y'all to realize is these people will kill you. And I'm not gonna play with this message. These people with this type of spirit, with this type of heart, will kill you. They will kill you, and they will have no empathy for you. And every time that she would express how she felt and he dismissed it, the only time he would apologize, the only time where he would actually act like he cared is when the camera was pulled out. When the camera was pulled out, that's when he would start to act like he cared. That's when he would, because his actions are being showed in front of other people. Narcissistic people care about their image. Their image is everything to them. So when you expose these people, when you expose this fake image that they put on, they will start to act completely different, and they will fake in front of everybody because they don't want nobody else having a certain image of them, a certain narrative of them that they built in their head for years. See what I'm saying? This may not even have nothing to do with you, but it has everything to do with them, their actions, their motives, how they speak, how they go about their lives. But they want you to intertwine with their ways of thinking, with their actions, with their motives, with their narrative, so they can control your narrative, so they can control your actions, so they can control your mind, will, and emotions, to put you in a certain level, at a certain energetic level, so they're to control you. Because this allows this same parasite takes from people and they don't give back. They take from you and they do not give back because they are lacking within their own selves. They don't have it in them to give love to you. They don't have it in them to give peace to you. They don't have it in them to give happiness or joy to you. They will derive you and deprive you of that because that's not who they are. By nature, this person is a parasite. By nature, this person is a wolf. By nature, this person is a shark. By nature, they are here to kill, steal, and destroy. By nature. So what we got to realize is, right? What what is the nature of the people that's in your life? You see what I'm saying? What's the nature of it? You see what I'm saying? Why do these people act the way that they act negatively? Maybe it's not because of you. It's not because of you, because they will paint a picture and they will twist your philosophy on you. And you'll begin to think that you are the villain, that you are the bad guy, because that's the type of philosophy that they have painted on you, when really you are of good character, when really you are of good cheer, when really you are a good person. But they twist that on you to make it seem like you're evil, to make it seem like you're bad, to make it seem like you are the one that's attacking them, that you're the one that's abusing them, when really they already had this set up. They already had this in mind of how they was going to treat you. Because I'm telling you right now, this is spiritual before it's physical. You see what I'm saying? These demons, these that prey on good people, have a certain type of entity that they walk around with. Because they are so weak-minded that they allow for these entities to play in their head, play in their mind, for these parasites, these demons to play in their own atmosphere and control the way that they think. These people have empty vessels. willing and ready and willing to be used by the enemy at every command. That's why sometimes when Jesus was dealt with demons, they would manifest themselves in front of him, because these demons knew who Jesus was, because Jesus walked with a certain content of character. So these people will realize and recognize who he is because of his character. There's a lot of people that get along real good because they surface with other parasites, because they surface with other sarks, because they surface with other individuals who are negative. They surface with them. And so if you ever wonder why they get along so damn good, it's because they got the same spirit. It's because they got the same spirit working in them, and they have a familiarity with themselves. They're able to familiarize themselves with you. Not with you, but with others around you. And so what they do is the spirits in them get to talking. Now, I'm telling y'all right now, this is how it go. They get to talking. And so they go, damn, I want to hit somebody today. You ever been around somebody and they just be like, man, I want to kill somebody today. I'm going to fight somebody today. Is that normal? Is that normal to you? And this, I'm going to tie this back to what I was talking about earlier. But is that normal to you? You just want to wake up every day and destroy somebody's day, destroy somebody's good character, destroy somebody's mind, will, and emotions just because you feel like it? That's a demon speaking through you, man. That's a demon manifesting itself through you to cause more havoc and more chaos on the earth, because you aren't willing to check it. You're too weak-minded to check it and derive yourself from this evil spirit. But most people do not operate out of the Most High, out of the spirit of love and grace and all that good stuff, and the fruits of the spirit. They don't operate out of that. They operate from their father, Satan. And I hate to be religious right now, but I want to expose this damn spirit because it's going crazy around America right now. And people don't know the end all be all of why they get treated a certain way, why certain people walk into their life, why certain people are so damn draining, why certain people come into the atmosphere and try to disrupt their peace, why certain people try to bring them down, self-esteem wise, mental wise, spiritual wise. I'm telling you, when you allow for these people to be in your life, when you allow for these people to come back into your life, what they will do is they will leave you more scarred than you were before. I said that in my recent video. And they will bring back 10 other demons to destroy your life. These people have a mission. These people, just like God's children, have a mission in life where they are living every day, day to day, to cause harm towards those who have a good heart, to want to attack those who want to live and do better. We've seen it with Nipsey. We've seen it with P&B Rock. We've seen it with these boys, man. Those who try to do better for their community, those who try to see life from a different vantage, from a different perspective, and want more for their life. We've seen it happen. These people will go out their way, hunt you down, and kill you. You don't want that for yourself. You see what I'm saying? You don't want that from yourself. You don't want that to be around that type of energy, because it's an energy to it. And energy connects. Those with familiar spirits will connect with those who are with familiar spirits, whether it be bad or good, whether it be positive or negative. It's all about yin and yang, knowing how to balance and counteract the two, and live and move with discernment. I'm telling y'all right now, y'all better start moving with discernment on who is around you, on who these people are, and who they mean to you, and what you mean to these people. Y'all will be doing the most for people that really want to see you destroyed. Y'all will be so good to those who really want to be evil towards you. You want to be so loving and forgiving and welcoming to those who never welcomed you. You want to be so giving to those who will never give to you. And this is not only a message to y'all, but this is a message to myself. Y'all be so ready and willing to do for those who don't want to see you succeed, who want to keep you at their level. These people want to see you do good, but they don't want to see you do better than them. They don't want to see you actually succeed in your endeavors and become more than what they made you out to be in their head. You can't follow what people made you out to be in your head, in their own damn heads. You ain't them and they ain't you. You have your own separate mind. You have your own separate way of processing things. But let me stay on topic. So this man probably more than likely gonna go to jail for doing the things that he's been doing, and her life is damn near destroyed. Who she was is damn near destroyed. Who she used to be is damn near destroyed, all because she let this narcissistic, manipulative individual in her life, and not only did she let him in, but she let him linger. Just like the parasite. You cannot let a parasite linger in your life, because they coming to take from you. They coming to take all your nutrients. Though the things that make you, they're coming to take that from you and invest it into their lives. These people don't have their own energy. These people don't have their own image. These people don't have a sense of self. These people don't have good people around them, because they mess it up with good people around them. They mess it up with their families. They mess it up with their friends. They mess it up with their lovers, those who they were in relations with. They mess it up with them because they self-sabotage every day. They self-sabotage what's good for them, and they allow what's bad, and they live in this negative realm. They live in this negative reality that they painted for themselves. But they can't just be negative without you. They can't just be negative without you, man. So they need a host. They need a host. And they need you to be around. They need you to be good to them. They need you to sit there and accept their apologies all the time. They need you to sit there and accept their bad behavior all the time. Ooh, I just had a conversation with one of my close friends. You know what I'm saying? She shout out to her if she see this video. But I had a conversation with her. She said a lot of people, you feel me, allow for certain bad in their lives because it's coming from those who are close to them. Family, you feel me? Friends. It's coming from those who are close to them. And so we give an excuse for bad behavior by going, oh, that's just so-and-so. Oh, that's just how they live. That's just how they grew up. That's just how they go about their ways. You know what I'm saying? That's just how they go about spending their days. That's just them. Just let them be. That's just who they are. That is the most saddest, lamest excuse for bad behavior that I've ever heard in my damn life. Those type of people don't never change. Those type of people remain the same. Those type of people don't never upgrade their life. They don't never see the wrong in the wrongdoings. They don't never ever see it because they've never been called out. They've always been pacified in their bad behavior. And so it grows just like a temptation, just like a tumor. And it grows and it grows and it grows and it takes away in their life, and it gets so big to the point where they can't pop it. It gets so big to the point where they can't stop it. It gets so big to the point where they can't stop doing negative or evil towards others or towards themselves because it's never been checked since childhood. This is a behavior that needs to be checked from childhood. This is a behavior that needs to be checked from when you are an adolescent growing up. If people pacify bad behavior, you will have more negative people, more negative relationships, more negative friendships in your life and in this world, because no one is correcting bad behavior. We are out here letting parasites be parasites. We are feeding those who are negative, feeding what is negative, feeding those around us that's negative, and we wonder why they get so bad in life. We wonder why they grow so evil in life. This is the same thing with Jeffrey Dahmer. This is the same thing with Jeffrey Dahmer. They never questioned this man. They let his bad behavior be pacified. And so he got comfortable in his sin. He got comfortable in killing people. He said, you know what? If I'm just going to get pacified for it, I might as well do it again. I might as well kill again. I might as well lie again. I might as well steal again. I might as well cheat again, because it's being pacified. It's not being corrected. It's being glorified. It's being glorified whenever I go out on social media. It's being glorified whenever I'm dealing with other people, when I'm dealing with family or friends. It's being glorified. My negative energy, my negative behavior is being glorified, and I'm not going to change it. because I've never been corrected on it. And by the time I get corrected on it, I take offense to it. A lot of people in this day and age got a spirit of offense on them. Anytime you correct them, they think you're trying to do them wrong. Are you talking about them some way? Anybody talking about you? They trying to correct what's in you. So that way you can change for the better. But you can't change for the better if you keep getting damn pacified. You pacify yourself on what's evil. How does that make sense? And so these people get so destructive in their lives. They get so damaged in their lives to where they can't even change. And they grow old with this negative, mean heart, this negative, mean spirit. And it gets older, and it gets stronger, and it gets stronger, and it gets stronger every time it's being fed. That's why we say, watch what you feed yourself. What are you feeding your spirit? What are you being fed on a day-to-day basis? What are you feeding your mind? If it's negative, you're going to have a negative life. If it's positive, you're going to have a positive life. You're going to have positive friends around you. You're going to have positive people around you. You're going to have positive family around you. Everything is going to be positive because that's what you are operating in on the inside. Carrying that spirit of Jerusalem on the inside. Being in heaven before you even get to heaven on the inside. People can be in hell before they get to hell because it's happening on the inside. A lot of people are in hell physically before they even get there spiritually. And they don't even realize it. They think the negative that's happening in their life, it's like you can feel your soul slowly drifting into an eternal abyss. These people every day feel their soul drifting from them. And their life is getting more negative. And so now they end up with this negative spirit. They end up with this negative reality. They end up with this negative life. And sooner or later they can't break it. Sooner or later it gets so strong that now they are in hell before they even enter it. You see what I'm saying? How many people are in hell right now before they even got there? How many people feel like they are in hell? How many people's life looks like hell before it even gets there? Sooner or later, your spirit will reflect who you are on the inside. Sooner or later, your soul, you're gonna look the part. Those who have that glow on them, just know that there's a heaven. There's a heaven in their soul. Those who have that dull light about them, those who always look real depressed and real meek and real angry all the time, look real old all the time. You see what I'm saying? That's that hell kicking their ass, man. And their soul is slowly drifting from them on a day-to-day basis because they keep choosing bad. The more you live away from God, the more you start to ignore God, I'm telling you right now, it's going to show on your flesh. It's going to show on your face. It's going to show in the way your body is being built. I'm telling you right now, it's going to show. And you will start to feel like you are in hell before you even get there. For those who live a positive life, you will start to feel like you are in heaven before you even get to heaven. Those who want a positive life, man, you ever look at certain people and they look like they're aging backwards, like they look younger, because their heaven is they're already living in heaven within their mindset, within their actions, within their ways, and they're fixated on Christ. They're fixated on those things that's good. The things that serve their highest good, they're fixated on that. And they do nothing but focus on that every day. You will start to look like what you focus on every day. And if it's negative, you're going to start to look like it. If it's positive, you're going to start to look like it. So I'm going to end this off right here. I hope y'all really got the message from that. I'm praying for the female. I don't know if I really finished the story. I don't really know what happened after that. But I'm praying for her. And I pray she gets the help that's really needed, man. Because these people on social media, they understand her situation, but they don't understand it on a spiritual, biblical type of aspect. You see what I'm saying? They don't understand it on a deeper aspect the way that a lot of other people do. So I'm just on the outside looking in. I don't really know her life. I don't really know who she is, but I do know that this type of spirit is prevalent, and it's prevalent in her life right now. So she needs prayer. I'll probably drop the name or something like that in the link in the description of who I'm talking about. But she needs prayer, and I need y'all to just reach out and just pray for her, man. I'll be praying for her as well. So please stay weary of those who are in your life who operate like predators, man. Because those that seem good on the outside, that seem good for you on the outside, who try to run up in your face and smile you in your face every damn day, are really they're just like predators, and they're looking for more prey. They're looking for a host. They're just like demons, and they're looking for a host to inhabit. You see what I'm saying? And 9 times out of 10, it's sad to say, but it's gonna be you and me at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's a lot of times it's gonna be you and me. So that's why we keep our circles small. That's why we keep our heads on straight, and we have discernment when we're dealing with people. Because a lot of people that get around us really just want something from us instead of giving to us. You see what I'm saying? But that doesn't cause for you to be negative. That doesn't cause for you to have a negative outlook. It just causes you to have more discernment. It just causes for you to spend more time with yourself, spend more time hearing the voice of God. It just causes for you to have more standards. It causes for you to set more standards, to set boundaries, to set limitations on how people use and abuse you. It causes more standards, and you got to set those standards early before it starts to get worse. You have to set them early. You have to say no early. You have to say, no, I'm taking care of myself today early. You have to do it early before it starts to get worse. So please take that message in consideration, and please watch for those who prey on you, because there's a lot of people that's preying on a lot of folks right now in America, and y'all think that these people love you. Y'all think that they love you. So I'm gonna leave it off with right there. I hope y'all got the message. I hope y'all stay blessed, and please, again, stay aware. Wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. And I'm gonna leave y'all off with that. Stay blessed. It's Eli Talks TV. I'm out. Deuces.